Hey everyone, Mortis here. This is my first video of probably many to come. I just decided to start doing videos simply because a lot of friends of mine requested that I do videos. I have two YouTube channels, one for my band, and then one for other shit, I guess, personal stuff. I figured I would go ahead and, on my personal channel, talk a little bit about the Gothic subculture and where it came from, etc., as well as other things that I'm interested in, and pretty much etc. So, the first video I wanted to do, basically, is what is Goth? For me personally, I think Goth really narrows down to three different things, which is the music, the fashion, and the state of mind. The interest in all things dark and different and all, the abnormal, I guess you could say. I'm not going to try to throw all those into one video, so this video I want to try to just do real quick and basically start out by, what is Goth? And there's tons of videos other than this one, that you can check out. A lot of my friends do videos on the subject as well. There's a lot of different views and opinions. People, will put their interest in, you can also check out my friends in Posa Patrol. They do a lot of videos too. You can check theirs out. Black Friday. Tons of other people that do similar videos to this one. So basically, I wanted to start out by doing what is Goth. Goth is a subculture that started in the late 70s, early 80s, with the music. It came as an offshoot from the punk scene. Goth is in a way kind of like the sister to punk. Basically, it was bands were coming out and they still had the punk sound a little bit, but they kind of made it a little bit more darker visually with the way they looked, the elements that they put in their music, as well as even a lot of them even slowed down the aggressiveness of punk as well. Some of it's not always as fast and upbeat as punk music is, which is actually where we get the term post-punk from, which is same category. It started out with bands like Joy Division, UK Decay, Bauhaus, which is what I'm playing right now. All those bands are basically the pioneers of what started goth music. A lot of those bands never, claim to be goth. A lot of them actually don't even like being called goth. I know Andrew Eldridge, the lead singer of Sisters of Mercy, completely hates it. And as far as I've heard, he can't stand being associated with the term goth. But they are what they are. Majority of goth music was in the 80s. There's a lot of goth bands that came out in the 90s as well. Even some modern day goth bands too. As far as ones that, if you're interested in learning about the goth subculture and getting into the music, I would suggest Joy Division, UK Decay, Specimen. Specimen really definitely, I would say, helped make the mark on goth. There was a nightclub called the Bat Cave, which was basically the place to be, if you were into the goth scene in the 80s. The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, UK Decay, I don't know if I said Joy Division, but Joy Division as well. Bauhaus, like I said, Peter Murphy, the lead singer of Bauhaus, is considered like the goth father. There's a lot of 90s goth bands as well. London After Midnight. There's a lot of during the 90s. It really became really, I guess you could say that, to me, I think the 90s is really when the misconception about what goth music was, and bands like, even though I love Marilyn Manson came out in the 90s, and people started thinking music like that was goth, and it's not. He's definitely influenced by goth bands, and as well as def rock, which is also goth. You can tell he's influenced by Roz Williams. He's also a huge David Bowie fan. But bands like Marilyn Manson, Motionless in White, New Year's Day, Evanescence, Black Veil Brides, those bands are not goth whatsoever. If you listen to goth music and then listen to that, they sound completely different. Those bands are more of along the lines of industrial, hard rock, metal, whatever they are. They may be influenced by goth, and I understand that that's probably where a lot of the misconception probably comes from, but they're not goth. Like I said, there's a lot of different, I guess you could say, not necessarily genres of goth music, but, you know, it ranges all the way from post-punk, def rock. There's even some industrial goth bands, I guess you could say. Depeche Mode, Skinny Puppy, Early Ministry, even. Bands like that. So, but it's not 100% just about the music, you know. Being into the music is what makes you goth, but you don't have to just listen to just goth music, you know. I know a lot of goths that do like Marilyn Manson. There's a lot of goths that hate Marilyn Manson too, as well. I like a shit ton of other bands other than goth. You don't have to listen to just goth music to be goth. Don't think that by any means. People who think that are elitist, and that's not the way to be, because it's setting a bad example for the baby bats and people that are just now learning about the subculture and getting into the subculture. It is about the music for the majority of it. Like I said, it's not 100% about the music. Like I said, to me, it's about the music, the fashion, and the state of mind of it all. The fashion and the state of mind both come from the music, basically, though, because it's when the fashion, you know, came from those bands dressing in fishnets and leather and black makeup and heavy dark makeup, period, is really what's set the fashion for it. And as well as the state of mind, you know, those bands were into creating dark elements and theatrics as well. So that's, you know, where the whole state of mind, if you like the music, then you're more likely going to like other dark or alternative things as well. There's a lot of goths that don't necessarily get into the fashion as much, and that's perfectly okay. You know, if you want to go the full 9 yards with all the makeup, and I'm a little bit eccentric right now with my makeup as well, but there's a lot of goths that really don't even get into the fashion, but they enjoy the music, and they know plenty about the music and where it originates from, and they've studied it and they love it as much as I do, or any goth does. You know, sometimes you won't even be able to notice a goth, because we don't all wear black makeup and wear black clothes. You don't have to look like that. Not every goth does. More on the music, if you're just now getting into goth, like I said, I listed a bunch of bands that you should check out. Joy Division, if you want to check out any of their music, I would suggest the Unknown Pleasures album, which is probably the most well-known. Bauhaus, I would suggest, well, my favorite Bauhaus album is probably Mask. Susie and the Banshees, I would check out Juju or Kaleidoscope. Those are really good albums if you want to check those out. Susie and the Banshees, like I said, Juju, Kaleidoscope's a good album by them if you want to check them out. Yeah, so there's shit ton to know. You're never gonna know every single thing there is to know about Goth, but just if anyone tells you they know every little thing about Goth, probably don't, because it's been around for 20, it's about 30 years now, and there's so much to it, and there's so many different bands that, range from Joy Division all the way to Skinny Puppy to Depeche Mode to London After Midnight to The Cure, Bauhaus, 45 Grave, The Damned. There's so many, like there's a lot of them that, I probably haven't even heard of yet. But yeah, that's basically, what is Goth. It started as a subculture and an offshoot of the punk scene, and it started with the music, and that's what makes you Goth, is being into the music and enjoying the music and enjoying the other things that, are in to the incline of, the darkness and being different and, sticking out is, if you're attracted to majority of Goths that I know, that they're attracted to, being around, dark elements, like hanging out in graveyards, anything that's very artistic and I guess you could say different. But yeah, there's tons of the bands. As far as if you're getting into Goth, I would suggest you start with. I've listed a shit ton now. I'm starting to ramble on and repeat myself. I do that quite often. But yeah, there's tons of bands you should check out. If you have any questions, or if there's anything that I'm really probably forgetting about, as far as information on what is Goth, I think I've pretty much summed it up really quickly. But yeah, it's something that I enjoy being a part of, and it's something that I've been involved with for a few years now, and I've never really known that many Goths until just recently, within the past year or so I was never too out there about it, other than how I looked and dressed, but yeah, if you want to study it, I would suggest using Wikipedia. It has some, their information's pretty accurate. Last time I checked, it goes into about the whole, it's starting out in Europe and the UK and England and all that, and it's pretty accurate. If you want to check out any books, I would suggest this book right here. Let me show you. It's called Somewhere Leather, Somewhere Lace. It's a very informative book, and it's probably one of the very few books that I've seen on Goth that is accurate as hell. There's, like I said, you got to be careful with all the misconceptions about what is Goth and what isn't. So as far as this book, I would say is very accurate. It also talks about a lot of the bands that I've spoke about, Sisters of Mercy, Susie and the Banshees, Alien Sex Fiend. It discusses all those in there. So if you want to check out that book, it's very helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, or any suggestions on videos I should do next, or as well as anything I might have left out, or opinions, etc. Please just comment below and let me know. Thank you.